This is Alexander George with Inside Ambition, and I'm here to talk to Gabrielle Brizzi, a junior whose international co-op got canceled, and she's also a former RA. Hey, Gabrielle, how are you doing?
Hi, Alex. I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. So why don't you start by giving us a rundown of what the end of winter term looked like for you?
So, the end of winter term was actually the end of my sixth consecutive term here at Drexel. So, it was the time where I was finally about to go on my international co op. I was scheduled to go to Cambodia for the spring term and then Ghana for the summer term for my co op. And I was really looking forward to that, having been in classes for six terms and having, been working as an RA and also as a desk assistant was a lot for me to handle for the past year and a half. I was really looking forward to being immersed in a clinical setting in Cambodia and also working to improve water, sanitation, and hygiene infrastructure in Ghana. So all the international co-ops are canceled. And so I had to apply for jobs from C-Round through the Drexel database. So I applied for jobs, but this time around it was very different from A-Round because I did initially apply for domestic and international co-ops just to keep my options open.
Mm-hmm.
But this time, as COVID-19 was unfolding in the US, there were a lot less responses from jobs that I had applied to compared to A-Round where I had multiple interviews. So that was very different for me, and it was kind of stressful to be honest because I wasn't sure what was going to happen, considering that this is my one and only co-op. As a public health major, we only have 4 years and one co-op, so this was my only shot. So there was a lot riding on whether I was going to be able to find a co-op,
Mm-hmm.
which luckily I was able to. And that was towards the end of C round. I think it was the last day that they were interviewing students. I received an interview from the co-op that I actually really wanted. So, and then she hired me the next day. So I'm glad that that all worked out.
And is that going to be a virtual position?
So right now, with the nature of the job, it's at a mental health facility in Center City. So I had to go through a bunch of different clearances and fingerprinting. So now that that's all finished, I'm ready to work. I'm just waiting to hear back about when orientation will be
Mm-hmm.
and whether that's going to be remote or not. So I'm kind of just waiting for now, but I'm still really thankful that I even found a co-op.
Yeah, I'm glad that it worked out for you, um, especially only having one. That's really stressful. You also mentioned that you're an RA. So, since housing shut down, how did that work out for you?
So when I found out that the international co-op was canceled, I was still banking on the fact that I was still going to be able to live on campus and, of course, do my co-op in Philadelphia because I'm from a small town in Maryland and there aren't many co-op opportunities there. So I was for sure going to stay in Philly. So I was planning for that, applying for jobs in C-Round, like I mentioned before. But as time went on, the situation on campus and with a lot of universities was changing very quickly. And so ultimately, I ended up losing my on campus housing as an RA as they weren't employing RAs anymore for the spring term. So I had to quickly find a solution and I found an off campus apartment about 10 minutes from campus, walking, which is really nice. And I've been here for about a month or so now.
And would you say that it was easy to find that housing, or was it a challenge?
I think it was easy just because of the fact that campus is now pretty empty and a lot of students are moving back home and they need to find people to sublet their apartments. And so luckily I did find a lot of people that were subletting. And this apartment that I'm at now just kind of checks off all my boxes. So I found this apartment within about a week of my search. And within the next week, I was already moved in here. So luckily it went very smoothly.
I'm glad to hear that. How are you staying positive during this crisis?
So I'm definitely working out a lot because I find that that helps me relieve a lot of stress and anxiety that comes with living in a pandemic, if we're being honest. Also, I like to just be outdoors, go for walks. Right now, I'm sitting in front of my window because I really love natural lighting and just seeing outside and all the pretty plants and greenery and things like that. So that's something that helps me personally stay positive. And I also and kind of just allowing myself to enjoy this break
Hmm.
because as I mentioned before, I was in class for 6 terms, and so I didn't have much time for breaks, especially as a pre-med student. So I'm just kind of allowing myself to chill, read, learn more about different things, and yeah, just also being patient with myself and realizing that we are in a pandemic and I don't need to be productive at all times.
Yeah.
So I've just been kind of chilling and just waiting for my co-op to start.
That's really awesome perspective. Since you're living on campus, could you give students who aren't on campus a little perspective as to what it looks like?
Sure. So campus is pretty much empty. I'd say the most I see other students is when I'm going for walks on a nice day, and if I pass Drexel Park, I'll see some students that I recognize that I know live off campus. But as for specifically on campus, it's pretty much deserted. Honestly, the only place that I see people going in and out of is Chipotle, and of course, that's probably people that aren't Drexel students,
Yeah.
anyways. But campus is actually pretty empty. It's actually kind of sad.
Is there anything else that you want to share with students that might be going through a situation similar to yours or who haven't found a co op yet or are still looking for housing or something like that? Is there any advice you have for those students?
I would say just try to be patient with everything, and I know this is very disappointing, and COVID-19 has drastically changed a lot of our lives, and it will change the future as well in terms of universities and working and things like that. So just kind of be patient with the process, and in these dire situations, reach out to your support system, whoever that might be. Reach out to maybe a co-op advisor or a friend that you might be able to stay with, and just know that in time this will all pass. I know it seems to be dragging on, and it's all for the health and safety of everyone else, but it is still definitely a very sad situation. And honestly, for students who rely on campus housing and rely on their work study jobs, um, I would say to just try your best to stay positive and reach out to those that you know will be able to support you, whether it's a family member, a friend, a colleague, a professor. Definitely get your feelings out there and vent if you need to vent, and ask for help.
Thank you so much. That was really well said. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with me and share your story. I hope all is well.
Thank you.